All right, starting this list off at number 10, we have what's called Deck of Fates with 70 chapters and can be found on Webtoons. It's about a little dude who becomes a magician from his mom because she has what's called been erased from this world, and now he has become a magician at an academy and has to fight other people. So please check it out. It's actually really good. Only problem that I have with this is the fact that the chapters are actually very short of a read, so it doesn't feel that long. Number 9, we have what's called Versatile Mage with 624 long ass fucking chapters. Can be read on MangaReader. But a good thing is that these chapters actually don't feel that long because it's actually a really interesting read from a dude who basically came from a whole nother world and now has become what's called really strong and a really good mage. Next up, we have at number 8 is called Jiang Ye or Jang Ye, or I don't know how to say this name to save my life, but it has 57 chapters and can also be found on MangaReader. This one is pretty interesting because of the simple fact that he doesn't really have powers until I guess later on when he forces himself to have powers. But it's pretty good. You should read it. I'm not going to give no details about it because this is no spoilers. Alright, next up we have at number 7 what's called Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Really long ass name for anything in my opinion, but it is actually really good with this long ass chapters at 257 and can be found what's called on Webtoons. This one's about homie who has basically dead and he has to restart all over in the game because of some, I'm not gonna say how you thought, but it's actually a really good read, so please check it out. Next up we have at number 6, which is called Dior or Deor or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty new, pretty recent, highly recommended to people. This has what's called like 31 chapters, but there is a fast pass for it, so you can actually read more of it. I'm a pretty free person, but let's go on about the summary. The little summary that I got for you is homie is basically a prince competing with other princes and princesses about who will become the person who is king or queen. But there is also twists and plots and everything like that inside of it, so it's actually really good, interesting, and I like it. Pretty different. Next up we have at number 5 Cape of Spirits with 70 chapters and can be found on Webtoons. This one right here I would definitely highly recommend because of course you know it's in the top 5, but dude is basically a prince who had killed his father. Now he is claimed as a traitor and he has to try to clear his name off of some BS. So just check it out. Not gonna give no more about it. At number 4 we have what's called Cold Atom. Cold Atom has 62 chapters and can also be found what's called on Webtoons. Alright, Cold Atom is about 2 guys that has now been helped of breaking out of a lab, and they have to find a cure for their power that they have because there's other people that has kind of like their powers but they don't live, so they're trying to help them. So it's pretty good, pretty interesting. I like it. You should like it too. At number 3 we have Rebirth at 111 chapters, can be found on Webtoons. I really like this one. All the top 3s I really like. I couldn't decide which one could be number 1, so they're basically all at a tie for number 1. But this one is about homie who is a father who came back in time from 6 years and who's trying to save his family and do better. Also has abilities, and they also are in an apocalypse situation to where they are fighting zombies. So it's actually really good, really intense, and I like it. Number 2 we have what's called Terraman. Terraman is a really good read. If you ever wanted to read about a terrorist who is actually a good terrorist and not someone who is what's called trash, terrorist for the better good, please read. Also deals with a lot of the Russian mafia, so take that into effect. It's a lot of combat, a lot of action, a lot of fighting. It's really good. At number 1 we have what's called Magic Emperor. Magic Emperor is also a very good read, sitting at around 154 chapters, and also can be found on MangaReader. So take into note, this is a kind of like a Mage. I'm not gonna say it's like Mage, but they have really cool abilities, really different things. But homie is an emperor who has to restart his whole life because he was betrayed. But really good. I highly recommend it to everybody, and thank you everybody who has came and watched this whole thing.